Welcome to the Abracadamn podcast, and I'm your host, stand-up comedy magician Danny Whitson. Guys, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for the ones who subscribed and started following the podcast on Podbean and who gave me the likes and any comments. Thank you guys so much. I do have some great news. We are on Spotify as of today. So if you're on Spotify, you can listen to the podcast that way. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and definitely spread the word. Tell your friends about it. I do want to apologize. On that first episode, I did notice I sound a little muffled, and that was due to a poor mic on the device I was using. But this episode, I feel like I have fixed a lot of those problems. I am excited with our guest here on our second episode. He is a fellow comedy magician and somebody who I've gotten to know pretty well during this whole pandemic time. We discuss doing virtual shows. We discuss magic. We discuss leaving some politics. So I tell you what, just sit back and relax and enjoy my conversation with my good friend, fellow comedy magician, Doc Dixon. All right, we got Doc Dixon here. How you doing, Doc?
It is good to be here. But here, what is here in a podcast where we're hundreds of miles apart? It's good to be in our collective here-ness of each other.
No place like home. No place like home.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I tell you what, a lot of my listeners, may not know who you are. So if you don't mind, will you, talk about yourself a little bit and give a little background?
Sure. I live just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. I've lived here for the past 2.5 years with my wife and 6 sons. Previous to that, I lived in the Pittsburgh area for just about my whole life. I am a full-time professional comedy magician, and I perform at a variety of different venues where just bringing the fun, But now, with all that is going on in the world, is that, by the way, is all that is going on in the world, is that our euphemism of choice? Yes, I'm checking that. Just want to make sure I'm using the right stuff to keep track. These different times. I think that was 2 weeks ago and it faded out. Now I'm doing a ton of stuff on Zoom. What I call the Zoom curve. When this all started back in March, it was like, yeah, we have Zoom, so we get to see our coworkers get to be together. And that lasts for a few weeks. And then it was, oh no, more Zoom. So I'm spending a lot of time bringing fun entertainment to Zoom events. So that's the
excitement now. And it's, we have actually talked before, and it's kind of rough that now, you spend so much time trying to be a good entertainer, and now you have to figure this stuff out. So it's kind of tough. It's been frustrating for me now, but I've learned the basics.
Well, it's the same here. It's funny. I was on the show Penn and Teller Fool Us. And since
Never heard of it.
Yeah, yeah, I hope you have. And since then, I've chatted a little with the tech people behind the scenes, and I gave talking with the directors, producers, and I said, please give a shout out to your lighting people, because I now realize I wear glasses when I perform, well, all the time, and also when I perform, of course. I realize how hard it is to light glasses without getting glare. So I have a new appreciation, something that I never would have thought about, but now, you do. Just what we've had to learn.
That was a big struggle. Whenever I first got glasses, I lived most of my life blind, apparently. And I remember, wearing glasses and performing on stage for the first time with my glasses, and I didn't even think about them fogging up. So there was times I'm like, I've got to take these off. And I didn't even think about that with Zoom, the glare. I didn't even think about that, so
Yeah, and I think that the 30-second advice on how to do that is you got to think like you're shooting pool and you're doing a bank shot, and you want to bank the light off your glasses, but not into the camera.
Okay.
So I position my lights a little wider than I those with 20/20 vision might.
Ah, okay. So take up pool, maybe,
Yeah,
I used to shoot some pool. So,
that's what I'm saying. Hang out in pool halls, people. That's Dear listeners of the podcast, if you really want to learn something about life, like for instance, a lot of you people that are real pains in the butt on Facebook and being rude, hang out in honky tonk pool halls. Cure that like that.
they short now that's real good advice, kids. So if you're listening to that, this is from Doc. And
Hey,
now
but real quick, those are not just entertainers. That lighting advice is good for people that are just in Zoom meetings for work. No one wants to stare at you when your eyes are these like two white glaring dots at them. So anyway.
well, the now here's another thing. I do know I remember on Penn and Teller where you gave a little background about your nickname Doc.
Yep.
Now, we've joked about this before. It's crazy the amount of docs in magic. There's a lot of docs, and not one of you guys, not one would I let you do a physical on me. So I don't recommend it.
It's amazing because let's talk about a weird mathematical coincidence how the universe comes together. The exact amount of docs who you would not want to do a physical on you in magic, that's exactly the number who would not want to do a physical on you.
Well, I tell you what. Why don't you tell where did the nickname come from? Why do they call you Doc?
When I was in high school, I was in emergency school. That makes sense. Yes. An emergency medical technician, EMT, on my local ambulance service. I was a volunteer thing. I guess from the time I was 16 to like 19, put in a ton of hours. Just the way it worked out, the headquarters of the ambulance service was only a 3-block walk from my house. So got certified, took the classes, and memory serves me right, I volunteered a ton at that. I think in 1 year, like 900 hours. Because like a lot of teenage magicians, my life wasn't occupied with a lot of dating and social life. So had the time.
So now I can't imagine. I couldn't have done that job. There's no way I could have done because some of the things that you would have seen would be tough. I could only imagine.
Yeah, there were a few of those calls, and rather not get into them. They're unpleasant to say the least. But then on the other hand, you'd get calls like this. The dispatcher says, man down by such and such a location. Now, man down can be anything. Get more details. Elderly, man down. Okay. Oh man, this could be a heart attack, cardiac arrest. So you get there and, I see the guy lying down and he's motionless. And then I see the paper sack in an identifiable shape in his hand. Got passed out drunk. So
vanishing bottle.
Yeah, shape of a ball. That's it. So, it goes from this oh no drama, get ready to do some CPR to this guy's drunk, and you wake him up. And I can remember the guy's name. I won't say his last name. He's like, my name's Mike, and he kept saying that. My name's Mike. So we just did a transport, got him to the hospital. Another call I got because we've never met in person, I don't think, but I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6'3". And so as a teenager, I would often be the biggest guy on the call. So, let him do this. So we get a call. The community I grew up in, a lot of elderly. And the call was this: elderly woman stuck in her bathtub. Now, as an adult male, a father and a grandfather, okay, I get that. You handle the situation as delicately as you can. As a 16-year-old boy, that is terrifying. And I have never felt such gratitude as when I arrived and one of her neighbors had put a dress on her.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so that made what was terrifying a more of an agreeable situation. So I helped her out of the tub, and we said, "Would you like to go to the hospital?" She's like, she looked at us like, "What, are you crazy?" "No, I just needed help out of the tub. I'm fine."
This
All
was
right,
before, and this was the days before the life alerts, right? Because I can only imagine how much.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was. Yeah, the days before that. Yeah.
Just roll over and you're laying on the life alert, so I couldn't. Well, okay, so you were into magic back when you were working there, correct? So
A little bit, yeah.
okay, well, every magician, I tell people this, I'm like, every magician has an origin story, just like a comic book hero, like how Spider-Man was bit by the spider. I was bit by a chow, and I got no magical powers out of it, but it just hurt. So the what got you into magic? What was the big kick? What created Doc?
Well, I got the magic kit when I was a little boy, but I think the big thing, like many magicians of my generation, when I was about 10 years old, I got a book called The Amateur Magician's Handbook, which is one of the few magic books that you can find outside of magician supply stores and in normal bookstores, back when normal bookstores were a thing, that you can find that taught some sleight of hand that you could sink your teeth into. So if you had an interest in magic, the higher demands of this book got you into it deeper. They kind of sunk the teeth of interest in you, if I could use a probably awkwardly stretched metaphor there. And I found, since then, in the decades since then, that's exactly how many other magicians of my generation got into it, from that book. And the amateur in the title, little known fact even to magicians, had really nothing to do with the content of the book, but the publisher had planned a series of books like the Amateur Gardener's Handbook, the Amateur whatever handbook. And so they just lumped the magicians into that.
I have that book, and that wasn't my first book, but that was a lot. That book influenced a lot of magicians. It really did. And I'm going to be honest, I have tried to read that book, and it's not the easiest read. But and what I mean is, because I'm dumb, I need pictures, and the version of that I have, there's a lot of words in it. You really have to sit down and study that book. So at least the one I have.
No, all the versions are the same, and I will concede what you're saying to a certain degree, in that the book took on so much in the way of sleight of hand. I mean, there were, things like bottom dealing, which is a move very few magicians can do. Second dealing, and a bunch of, I don't want to get lost in magic jargon here, that, you'll find those things taught in advanced books for magicians. So it may have bit off a little more than it can chew, but not by much.
But no, I that is a fantastic book, because, like I said, a lot of guys started out, with that book, and gals.
I'm just trying to be polite and say maybe it's you. I don't want to say that.
Maybe it's you, stupid. So and that was, I will totally take that. Well, here now I gotta ask you a tough question. Okay, this is a tough question. We're going to talk some politics here. Now, we all know that most of our presidents that we've had in the White House, literally all of them except one, have been old white men. That's, we all know that. And we have had one black president. And now it looks like we have a female vice.
Did you point out who that was for those people who are so historically uninformed? I want to say, who is the non-old white guy? Who is it? I think we know. Yeah, of course.
I can't remember his name. But and now it looks like we've got a female vice president. Now, This is what I want to ask you, okay? we're going to see a lot. I think we've in our lifetime we've seen a lot of changes already. Do you, and who would you like to see? If so, do you think we'll ever see a magician president? Let's hear it, Doc.
Well, if we can qualify semi-interested, semi-hobbyist as being a magician, we already have. Dun, dun, dun! George W. Bush used to go in Al Cohen's magic shop in D.C., just a few blocks from the White House. Yep. I'm sorry, George H.W. Bush.
Okay, the first Bush.
Yes.
So the CIA Bush.
The CIA Bush. Yes, the one that didn't like broccoli Bush.
He didn't like broccoli. And he was into magic. I did not know that.
Well, into magic may be overstating it, but I believe, I could be wrong here. I kind of threw this out of nowhere at me. I didn't think we were going to get this political. I believe he had been to the shop. I mean, he may have been picking up some stuff for his grandkids. I don't know.
I could see Bush Senior doing the feathered flowers. I could see that. Maybe.
You know what he was doing? He was buying finger traps for the CIA.
Chinese handcuffs. This will get them.
Oh, I can't get out of them.
Oh, man. Well, okay, I tell you what, I can't help but notice that big fat trophy right there in the background. For you guys listening, we are doing Zoom. So, Doc does have a little shelf behind him with some cool little props. And I see a Penn and Teller Foolish trophy.
Oh, that? I didn't notice it was there.
Now, let me ask you, you actually won that? You didn't pick that up at a flea market or like a Goodwill or something like that, correct?
No, yeah, I did actually win that, yeah. I shot the show back in March of 2019. My episode aired September 9th of 2019. And just the real quick version, I did my version of the shell game on there, the classic magic trick with the 3 walnut shells and the pea. And I had a rather unique ending on it. I don't want to spoil the surprising when listeners haven't seen it, but just go to my website, docdixon.com, DOCDIXON. You can see the video link right on the front page, and you'd see it there. But yep, won it. Yay!
It was a great trick. I really enjoyed watching it. It's probably my favorite version of the shell game.
Oh, thanks.
So, I think you did a fantastic job. Now, your experience on the show, though, you had a blast. You said, I've heard you say nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, there's a complete atmosphere of wanting the performer to succeed. And by succeed, I don't mean necessarily win the Foolish trophy. I mean, put on the best performance they can. I mean, my favorite illustration of that is when I performed on the show, I was wearing a pair of khakis. Actually, the shirt I'm wearing now, blue button-down collar shirt and a navy blazer. So, I was wearing my dad uniform,
I love it, too. I love that.
And, you have to do a wardrobe check before you go down to film. And so I just snapped a pic in the bathroom mirror, sent it off, and the person responded, "You're going to kill." I'm like, what? He just could have said, "Hey, that's okay. You look fine." But it said, "You're going to kill." And that attitude runs through the whole team. Just everyone there, just so wonderfully pleasant to deal with.
One thing I did notice that too, because when I saw the way you were dressed, and first of all, I was like, Doc dresses like me, and I was no, that's not so much.
That's what I shoot for. I go to my wardrobe consultant. I just show him your Facebook page. You go, "Give me some of that."
the thing, well, no, I love the way that you were authentic, and it's you don't see that in a lot of magicians. A lot of magicians try to be something actually that they're not, and sure, they overdress a lot of times. And to me, whenever you've got everyone looking the same, I think that's not good. And but you look like you. And and you went out there and you did your thing, man, and you killed it. And great
Oh,
job, great job.
thank you.
And we've also talked before. You're also an author of magic books. Some of my favorite books. I cherish those books. Some really good stuff in that. Have you always kind of had an interest in creating magic for other magicians?
Sure. Well, I don't so much have an interest in creating magic for other magicians as much as I have an interest in creating good magic. And some of the stuff that I create, I look at it, and I mean, I'm typically doing a 45-minute show, so I can't do all of it, in the show. And magic has a long history of people publishing their work to share, and I enjoy doing that. I enjoy sharing it with other magicians. That FYI is a separate site, dixonmagic.com, which I'm kind of building up because now, again, the euphemism, all that is going on in the world, I'm not traveling as much. And so I have a chance to catch up on my writing. And so sharing some of that. And, the old parable of if you want to learn something, teach it. Man, is that true. I had an interesting thing happen in regards to teaching magic, not for magicians, but a few weeks back, I was a magic consultant on a TV show filming here outside of Atlanta. And I had to teach the actor, and I kind of have to be a little leaving out a few details just as a courtesy to the production. I had to teach him how to vanish a pen. And I had to teach him how to vanish a pen that looked good, but yet, he has a bunch of other plays to spin, so he's not going to be practicing sleight of hand nonstop. And
I know the TV show, by the way, but go ahead.
Okay, he nails it.
Yes.
He gets the move down, and I will tell you, I was shocked how excited I got.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, I was watching my kid at a violin recital, nail the piece, or a baseball game, hit a home run. And he's like, boom, boom. And he's doing it. And that's a satisfying feeling. I mean, I'm not as young as I once was. Yeah, darn it. None of us are. But it's been now lately, where I've seen friends of mine who I knew many years ago who are like, oh yeah, you shared that with me. I got that from you, that little bit of wisdom or whatever. And it's a gratifying feeling. Humbling.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is.
It's great to see that they could take all the junk that I do and pick out that one good thing. Kudos to them.
Well, I think you do very quality, good magic.
Oh,
and, like I said, I love those books. There's a lot of great stuff in there. Well, I tell you, let's see. Like
we're gonna do hell gig stories.
Yes, let's do that. That's what I was looking at. Oh, wait, first, let's do this real quick. I'm gonna make this a tradition on the show. What card am I thinking of?
Jack of Spades.
That's amazing, Doc. That is amazing. And
Thank you.
There you go. Now, for you guys listening, that was absolutely amazing. That was absolutely amazing. And
it's a gift.
It is a gift. It is a gift. And which is, and basically what we just did, we changed the name of the Queen of Hearts. So yes, I'm impressed.
I'm so disappointed. Why did you tip our miracle?
Okay, now we all have hell gig stories. I've got plenty hell gig stories. And anytime I have an entertainer, even with Gene, with the other interview, he had some TV bloopers to share. So I want to hear from you, and everyone else wants to hear from you, Let's hear a hell gig story.
Okay. I give you two of them here. This happened early on in my career. I was, probably not even 22 years old. And I was doing programs, local community programs booked through the city. And often at these, to get the most bang for their very small entertainment dollar, they would have different events there. Like, and this one in particular had a petting zoo. Let me clarify that. A very poorly fenced in petting zoo. So I'm in the middle of this like park and I'm doing my show and there's kids and it's very informal. There's no audience to like, or there's no place for them to sit. So they're standing around doing my magic and a pig comes up to my feet. A little piglet about the size of 2 shoe boxes. And I'm trying to nudge the pig enough so the pig gets out of the way, but so it doesn't look like I'm kicking a pig, because I got nothing against the pig. My beef is with the guy who can't fence in his petting zoo. He's the guy I want to kick. I'm fond of the little pig. So I'm nudging it, and the little kid starts going, dang, you're kicking a pig, man. No, I'm just nudging it. I'm just nudging it. So there's that. That's hell gig story. I might have to do 3 of these. Next one, that was probably in the early 80s. This one is in the late 90s. I was doing a comedy club run up in Michigan. It was a 3-night run. I get a call about a week beforehand from the agent. No, just a 2-night run. I'm like, all right, just 2 nights. Friday and Saturday. So I get there at the place Friday night. Then I find out that the other comedian hasn't shown up and won't be there. So I'm the whole show. I found out later that the owner of the club, who happened to be the MC, the owner of the club, I was told he was a defected Iraqi pilot. I guess an Iraqi pilot who had defected. I guess that's the better way to put it. Anyway, and has this thick accent, which wasn't so much foreign as it was irritable. And so in the room we're in, it was a large dance floor. It could easily have seated 200, but apparently they were anticipating COVID because there were just 12 people there, socially distanced, all spread out. And also I found out it was the last night they were doing comedy.
Oh yeah, those are great.
And they had a light on me, but it wasn't a spotlight. It was, I'm pretty sure they're going to need that light soon because somebody had to spot deer. Really harsh shadows. So the owner brings me up. And here's the introduction. Like I said, 12 people all spread out. Just, hello, everyone. This is the last night we will be doing comedy here. It is not our fault. We advertised extensively in the local community, the papers, the media. It is not the fault of our comedians like Doc Dixon. No. It is you, the community, that have failed us.
Oh my God.
And I'm standing on the edge waiting to go on. My like jaw just drops. He goes, no, it is not our fault. And he cycles this same thing again. It is you, the community. At that point, I just bust out laughing. And no, Doc Dixon. I get up there. I do my time. And that's really what it felt like, doing my time. But the audience, as weirdly seated as they were, had a good time. This guy in the front row spills his beer. I, of course, say, could we get my friend another beer here? Go up at the end of the night. And working clubs, you're often paid. Back in the 90s, at least, you're paid at the bartender. The owner gives you the money to pay, gives the bartender the money to pay, gives the money. They took out the money from the guy's beer.
Oh my God.
Out of my payment. So I'm like, all right, All right. I go to the next club in the run. I say to the bartender, she goes, so Doc, how was the first night? I go, let me tell you about that first night. And she stops me. She says, no, everybody has told me about that first night. And I said, well, congratulate me because I'm the only one, or I'm the last one. But, oh, yeah.
So now you know why the comic couldn't make it. So, you know.
I never found that out. I don't know who that other comic was. I'd like to, yeah, it is you, the community, that have failed us.
The community.
That's
always a good way to start off a show, you know, by
berating the people that are actually there. Your tribe has failed us. Like, it's just, oh, yeah, okay, there you go.
Oh man, you know, those are the stories. You know, that's the best part about being an entertainer, because you never know what's going to happen. You know, you can have things planned, and sometimes you just never know. And it's a little exciting. It is, but you definitely want to avoid those. You know, so
on a serious note, as an entertainer, that's where it helps to, at least in a mental, metaphorical sense, to pack for bear. You have the tools you need for the show, both in your head and in your prop case, but then you have many times that mentally, and then the props just ready to do what you need to do.
You know, I had, you know, I've got a few, but one that always sticks out with me is one time I had to open for a wrestling match at a county fair, and I was doing my show in a wrestling ring, and you know, wrestling fans don't care. You know, they're not there to see you. They want wrestling. And they are, you know, some of the most, you've seen them, you know. I mean, you got the lady there, and she's wearing the wife beater. She's got the Marlboro hanging out of her mouth, and she's screaming and cussing. And I think I wind up making one of the wrestlers mad at me. Had to pull a whole Andy Kaufman bit, but yeah, they enjoyed seeing me, you know, but get threatened by a wrestler. But no, I've got a few too. I've got a few doozies. Those you definitely never forget. Well, I tell you what, one thing I do want to bring up also. I don't know, you know, we say, why don't you tell everybody where you're going to be? But we got an idea where you're going to be most of the time. Same place I'm going to be most of the time. But I do know a place where you are going to be this summer. We're still planning on that this summer, and that's the Secret City Festival here in my hometown of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. So people listening can get a chance to come see your show live, which I think that would be great.
Yeah, please come on out, folks. The kind of show I do, essentially, I spent a lot of the 90s, and still this day a little bit, but a lot of the 90s working in clubs, but the act is very family friendly. So you'll have a good time. The adults will have a good time. The kids will have a good time. Your grandparents will have a good time.
You know, speaking of family friendly, I always tease you. I say, you are the father of the year, because every time I talk to you on the phone, it sounds like I'm watching the movie Overboard with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. How's that? What is that like? Because I mean, now I know you have a few kids there that you take care of. So
yeah, six sons at home, a daughter that's all grown up, and 6 boys from ages 5 to 14.
Now, Doc, if I didn't know you any better, I always say anybody in 2020, if you've got more than 3 kids, you're basically a cult. So tell me how tough that has got to be. Tough. That has got to be tough. How do you do it, man?
Well, a little secret's like I know precisely how much I can water down soup before the kids notice. Okay, to give you a serious answer, really honest is every moment you got to live in the now. You got to be in that moment. You got to pick your battles. Sons and daughters are not clones, and which is good, because the last thing I want is another me, So that's really it. And it's funny. I tell you a little epiphany I had recently. I drive our kids to school, and for years I thought I was a morning person, and I realized something. I am a morning and everyone else shut your pie hole person. Left to my selfish predilections, I want my coffee, I want quiet. And, it doesn't work that way, taking that many kids in the van to school. And so, I'm not going to make this, a hell gig for my children. Quiet, no talking, everyone look forward. So I've said to myself, I've seen that weakness of myself. That's what kids can show you. They're a mirror for your own weaknesses, and it's how you deal with. I mean, you have kids. You're one of them breeders. It's they're a mirror for your own weaknesses, and it's what you do with that realization. And sometimes I like to think I succeed more than I fail. I mean, in the morning, we were just a few mornings ago, we were singing. We realized my 12-year-old loves to sing, but he doesn't necessarily love lyrics. So he starts singing, "Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree."
I do that with every Christmas song too.
Well, yeah. And you could either like, hey, you don't know the words. So we just embraced the moment and made up some dumb lyrics. It was really my 12-year-old has your name. Please, folks, don't read anything into it. We're just friends. Anyway, they're like, "Oh, Christmas tree, Danny's forgot the words," just go around and have fun with it. But we're a circus. We're a circus.
Well, like I said, I think it's awesome, especially that we got people, like you in the world, and I tell you what, Doc, this has been fun.
Same here, brother.
I've enjoyed chatting with you, man, and I always do. I am definitely looking forward to this summer, getting to see you live. Definitely looking forward to that. And, I appreciate you coming on, and, it's been good. It's been fun.
I very much appreciate you having me on the show. This is fun. You're doing a good thing here, bringing some entertainment and fun. And, and I want to thank you. Great show of respect, you wearing pants for the Zoom call, because that doesn't always happen.
No, it doesn't. I'm just glad you can't smell my breath, because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But same here, brothers.
There you go. All right, Doc. I will definitely, like I said, this has been great, and I look forward to seeing you at the Secret City.
See you then. Look forward to it. Seeing all of you at the Secret City.
All right, guys, that does it for the second episode of the Abracadamn podcast with Doc Dixon. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. I enjoy talking to Doc every time. He's a really great guy. Also, I want to add a show date. I do actually have a live show. Yes. Coming up the day after Christmas at Happy Trails Brewery in Sparta, Tennessee. It is a free of charge show. I'll be there performing and doing my show. I believe it will be social distancing. It's safe, and I believe there will be masks required. But definitely not while you're having a beer and laughing and oohing and on at my show. So that's the day after Christmas, December 26th at Happy Trails Brewery in Sparta, Tennessee. I will be there, so definitely come check that out. Guys, thank you for listening. And if you can, spread the word, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you guys next time.
Abracadabra.